Hello, and welcome to this part of the pond of the Bullfrog reviews. The last movie I did, not movie. I keep on wanting to say movie, but it's a show, The Mandalorian. You can see my review on that of the Disney Plus, and I'm doing a new Disney Plus, and that is Lady and the Tramp. And with this movie, Look, Disney does a lot of new live actions. It's a new fad that they're in. A phase. I hope it's a phase. And Lady and the Tramp, growing up, I loved the movie. I really liked it as a kid, and I hold that nostalgia and that love still today. And then making a live action one, I was a little. Why? Out of the Walt Disney's classics, his own personal works, this was one of my. This is my top 5, and you remake it. What do you have against me, Disney? Why keep the old ones just untouched? But this is not me airing my grievances. I'm not a Costanza. Not all the way of a Costanza. But so when I view this movie, I was very harsh, and I will be harsh because when you do a book I like, when you do something that's really close to me, like I said, a book, a song, a play, or something of my childhood, you're going to do into a movie. You better do it right, or else you are going to fail, in my opinion. And that's where this Lady and the Tramp was under. It was going to be under this microscope that could hurt or praise. So this is Lady and the Tramp. Let's see how it does. And it follows the same rhythm and beat. Lovely couple. Have a dog, they're going to have a baby, and now the dog's wondering, what is my role in the family? As mysterious dog comes out, a stranger, a wandering mutt. And he introduces her to a different part of life of being a dog. And she kind of goes, what do I want? Do I want to stay as with my owners, or should I be a dog? And that is Lady and the Tramp. And with this new movie, they have a good cast of actors to play in their roles, and they have got a lot of good actors, but a lot of them have names I'm scared to pronounce, because I may botch them like no tomorrow. So I don't want to give them that disrespect unless I want to. I don't want to give them that disrespect. But so I'll just call them by their character names. And the performances are good from the humans and the dogs. They're all okay. There's no one really into it. And the presentation of the movie, I'm going to be honest, it was good. It was good. It was really good to see the 1920s of the South. To see these characters walk by, that beautiful designs, and they have the big band swing feel to the movie, and with the music and such. And I've kind of been introduced, I kind of accidentally introduced myself to this genre of music, and I like it. I'm new to the genre, but I like the music. And they show it a little louder in this movie, and I thought, hey, this could be good. And this is based off of the cartoon, so they have to follow what makes the cartoon so good, and they have to fill in that. And I think at the beginning, I'm going to be honest, following the rhythm of the cartoon was okay. Wasn't great, but it was okay. And then they have two characters from the movie, from the cartoon, to this new movie. They changed them a whole lot. And I thought I didn't like it. Honestly, it was a failed opportunity. Mainly for one of them. But that one, I'll hold back and talk about the first change, the big change, and that is the dog catcher. The dog catcher in this new movie is the villain. He is the antagonist for the Tramp. And he is a cliche, a walking, talking cliche of a Disney villain hammed in. I'm sorry. Why, Disney? Why? The dog catcher may have a small role in the cartoon, but he had a cool role in the cartoon. He's one of the humans you don't see, actually, you only see his feet and his outline. But what I like about the dog catcher in the cartoon was that he was a man just doing his job. Yes, he's trying to capture the Tramp, and when Lady's in the dog pound, when he's taking her and leaving, he's petting her, being nice, and says, "You're a good girl. No, this is a place you don't belong. I'm sorry." Makes the little kid go, "Wait a minute. So is this guy a bad guy, or is he just a guy doing his job?" That's the point of the role. To tell kids that some people, they have a job that may be ugly, a dog catcher, but does that mean every dog catcher is bad? Or does that mean someone that has this job that forces a person to, not really forces them, but they have to do these dirty things that may be uncomfortable, and you may see them like that, but it doesn't mean they're a bad person. You could have kept that as is, because that is a good lesson for a child. That not everyone that has a public authority, whether it's going to be a dog catcher, a cop, fireman, or garbage man, that role should have been like the cartoon, because it'll teach a child that it is a job. That person doesn't mean to be a bad guy. Again, picking up Lady. You're a pretty girl. You don't belong here. I may be misquoting, but I will always remember that bit. That is a very powerful, notice that word, because I'm going to be referencing that to the end of this, but that is a very powerful role in the cartoon. Again, in this live action, he's the main antagonist. He's a jerk. And again, a cliche. And then the second character, and who's kind of split in two, because it's the ant. And the ant is one of three characters in Lady and the Tramp where you get the full vision of the face in the cartoon. The ant, you see more of her face, you see her more of her reactions, they're big and broad. And she's the owner of the famous Siamese cats. In the cartoon, they sing "We Are Siamese," if you please, which is now considered politically incorrect and also offensive. And the ant in the cartoon, here's something that you need to know. She was the same thing like the dog catcher. She was this character where her cats were spoiled. They could do whatever they want, and the cats made Lady be blamed. And she was scared for the safety of her cats. So she had Lady put into a muzzle. Lady gets out, gets caught by the dog catcher. And then after that, we don't see her that much. But there's two things you should know. One of them, when the dog catcher, I talked a lot, when he is bringing Lady back, she does come back. And in the cartoon, you see Lady without the muzzle, but she's outside in the doghouse. And at the end of the movie, where they're having Christmas, of the cartoon, the original cartoon made by Walt Disney, there's a a thing said off in the distance where he says, "Where's the dog biscuits? The ones that Aunt so and so brought." Hear that? She was kind of like, she almost held the same role as the dog catcher. She may have, but things were more personal. It was for the protection of her cats. But it doesn't mean that she was a really bad person. She put the dog in the muzzle, dog ran away. What does she do? She doesn't keep the muzzle. The dog is outside. Is it still spiteful? Yes, the dog was being punished. She wanted to protect her cats. But at the end of the movie, after everything is done, she sends out dog biscuits. And also, I just barely remembered, I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've seen this movie, but I remember these bits because they really stayed with me. And that was when the aunt is terrified when Lady's warning them, hey, Tramp did something good in the cartoon. They all go up, and she sees the rat. And she was terrified a lot of the baby, for the baby's protection. So the aunt character was really, really an important character. And in the live action, she is another antagonist. She is a jerk all the way around. And everyone, and the couple, how they treat her is kind of a jerkish motion, I thought. Because she comes in for the baby's shower, and she's all for the baby. She doesn't like Lady, and you're going, okay, maybe in the end she'll have a character growing moment. She doesn't. She remains a jerk. She doesn't mean anything nice. When the muzzle's being put on, it's not because out of the protection of her cats. It's out of the protection of this dog is a menace to society. And when she leaves, when we never see her again, she's saying that dog is a menace to society. And I thought they could have done something great with this character that children could grow from. Like, in the cartoon, the original, she was meant to watch over the dog and the baby. In this new one, she's meant to be a dog sitter. That's all. And she was in there for a brief bit. When in the original movie, she was in for the big chunk of the story almost. Yes, she's in for more of the bigger parts, but not as big. And they could have used her to be more like the main character for the human side. I mean, I think it would have been a better movie if it was more around the aunt. And the actress, I will rip her name apart. And I think she was perfectly molded for the role, good for the role. But I think if they trusted this movie to be more focused around her and this character growth with her and the dog, I think it would have been better. And she was a good role, and really good actress for that character growth. She's in the TV show Community. You can find out, look it up for her. She's, again, I don't want to botch her name, and I don't want to sound insensitive. I love her. She is a good actress, but I could butcher her name. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm bad, but I know she has the potential to be a powerhouse, and this movie could have been something good for her. I know this is a low-budget movie, but you're wondering, what, Jason, what you're talking about for this role that she could have done? Well, you could have had this, again, other than her being a dog sitter, she could have been a sitter for the dog and the baby. The parents left, do their own thing. They could do that again. And it would be her kind of adjusting to the dog, that maybe Lady was in the right the entire time, and that she would have to go, maybe I may have done some. Maybe we got off at the rough start, but at the end we could have mended it up. She could have been probably a better role, something great. And they didn't do it. And I know this is a big what if, wah wah cry, but when you do something like this and you need to do a rewrite, do focus more on that relationship, other than rehashing and whatever. Do that, and have her have a little bit more worry for the dog and worry for her niece, and that at the end of the movie, when the parents come back, she and Lady could be better off. That would have been a good movie. That would have been a good lesson for kids. But they didn't go there. And here, I mentioned I'm kind of a Costanza in the build. But also, I need to be a Costanza here, and that is, I need to air out my grievances with this movie. And there's something I have to say. This movie was trying to fill in these blocks of what makes Lady and Tramp from the original movie. And in the original movie, Lady's in the hat box, cute. They do it here. So they did that at the beginning well. I think they failed on a most important scene, which is one of the most important scenes in animation. And that is the famous scene we all know and love, where they're at the Italian restaurant and they are eating the biscotti thing. They do that kiss. She turns away, and then Tramp gets a little coy and rolls the meatball, and she looks, and there's that beautiful moment, and then comes the Italians, and they sing "It's a Beautiful Night." That is an important scene in animation and in Disney. For Disney, because it is one of the most powerful, iconic bits. It's considered one of the most romantic scenes. And with animation, it showed that it is a big cinematical moment. You have dogs doing this lovely scene, and it's considered one of the most lovely scenes of a romance. To be unscripted, unedited, and loving it. But that scene showed that with dogs, with these big eyes and their fur and those emotions you could see in them. That romantic scene is something iconic. That movies and TV shows today still mock it, make parody of it, to keep that legacy going. And in this live-action movie, they hurt it horrendously. How they do it is that the restaurant is being busy. The guys are at work, and they see Tramp and Lady, and they go, "Oh, never mind, we'll forget everything about our customers. Hey, let's do you a big meal." What? I'm sorry, what? That already hurts. Because in the cartoon, they're being kind. And they should have kept that kindness. Now they look like jerks and imbeciles. It's giving disrespect to that job. It shows these guys, oh, we don't care for much for our human customers, but for this dog, other than, making a big feast out of it, we'll take the orders for one of our customers and give it to these dogs. It actually quotes in the movie. They said they didn't have the special. Customers were saying that. And they saw their order given to a dog. Was that romantic? I thought these guys were imbeciles. Not only that, insulting. Oh my gosh, it was disrespectful, not only to the animation and the power that Walt Disney built, but it gives disrespectful to these workers. It's like they don't care for the customer. It's like they care more for these dogs' entertainment. But have it be like a slow day where there's really nothing going on, and these guys are like, hey, you know what? Nothing's happening. We barely have a customer out there. We have a customer. We'll give him a special. This biscotti that fell on the thing? Yeah. Does that sound a little mean to the dogs? Maybe. But it's also showing a great kindness to the dogs. It gives a sense that these guys are genuinely kind people to customer and the dog. There's a balance there, and that will give respect to these guys. And it gives children a little sense of respect to these workers. So, I mean, I haven't gotten to the spaghetti scene yet, but the build up to it. And you see these things that ruins the magic of that scene. And one other thing, and as you go on, and they do the scene almost well. I mean, they still do the dogs eating their food, gets the sketty, goes to the kiss, she sighs, turns away, and he goes coy. Ugh. They almost got it right. This may be the biggest nitpick of nitpicks, but if they just let that dog pause for 2 seconds or 3, and then roll the sketty, I think it would felt more natural. It felt more the lines of, oh. Because in that scene, in the animation, there was a small pause, and he rolls it. In the live action, they have that kiss, Koi looks away, and he rolls the meatball immediately. It's like, yeah! Not this, a thought, just a pause makes him go, wait a minute. She's kind of cute. A small pause makes it feel a little bit more natural. And then it happens. Again, this is one of the most iconic scenes of Lady and the Tramp, of animation. Give it respect, and give the workers of that restaurant respect. Let children see that these are not people being a comical scene or a joke. But leave that build up to it's a slow work day, and these guys do this out of kindness, not out of almost a sense of being of a jerk for a joke. And that's a rough build, but hey, you're gonna get it. And when she's in the pound, they change a line. And I thought it was weak. And the weakness was in the cartoon. No, not the cartoon. I'll pull that aside. In this new movie, she's in the pound and she meets all of Tramp's other friends. You find out that what makes her feel wary of the Tramp is that he doesn't work as a team. And that's what turns her off of him. What? He's not compatible? I'm sorry, that felt weak. Because in the cartoon, a children's cartoon, mind you, with dogs, they go off, oh, you're with the Tramp, right? He's quite the dog. I mean, he's been out with Fifi. Dang it, I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it, I know. But the reason why she's hasty of him, he's been without other girls, and a lot of them. In even one of the characters' dog's sister. And she felt hurt. Not because he's not compatible, but the fact that he's a loose dog. He is a tramp. He walks around, wanders, and goes with any girl. That was in a children's cartoon. It gave a level of depth. So that when he comes back and sees that she's outside in the doghouse in the cartoon, he comes up and tries to warm her and make her feel better about what happened at the pound. He wanted to listen, and she starts rolling out on him and all these girls' names, and he's like, oh crap. He gets terrified. He recoils. It's not like, oh my gosh, I can't recover myself. He was terrified. He was pulling back. He was from her. He felt like, oh my gosh. It wasn't a sense of exposure. It was a sense of shock. And from that scene, he probably realized, oh no, I think I kind of like her. So when she calls for help and he comes in and tries to help to protect the baby, She realizes this Tramp has a heart of gold, and he is a good dog. In this one, in live action, he's compatible. He doesn't work with other dogs. He likes to be alone. He is a scoundrel. And they go, "Oh, what a dog," and start singing that song. I thought that was weak. And when you compare these movies, and everyone will, because why? When you do a remake, they will always compare the original to the new. The original has power. And I mentioned it a while back, a long while, but there's a sense of power, and that's what this new movie can make me realize with the old one. There was a lot more power in the old one. There was no kid gloves almost. I mean, they talked about how a dog catcher who has a bad job, who has this gray, scary job, can be a kind person. That aunt was not that much of wasn't a bad person, but she had some kindness into her. And that a man who has a flawed past, who's been around with other girls, he didn't cheat you, he just had a ton of other girls. But he's with you right now, and he felt genuine hurt and shock. That is powerful, other than you're not compatible. Ouch. I mean, ouch. Walt Disney gave children respect. And also, he knew what he could. It's not that. He was able to understand his audience and and he wanted to give them an emotional education. This one felt, we need money. We're doing Disney Plus. Let's do this as well. Not in theaters. No one's gonna really watch it. We'll do it right here. Budget kinda shows it. The actors kinda show it, but I'm sorry, I will butcher your name, but I know she has the chops to play a better role with that character. And if they utilize the actress who played the aunt in this new movie, and the writers actually had the courage to do a story about her learning how to be to have better respect for lady, that would have been a good adventure movie. Not an adventure movie, but an educational movie for kids. That would have been good. And the We Are Siamese song, they got rid of it and did this other song. It's big, bandy, it was trying to be all cool. I didn't mind it. I just wish I could have heard it. The noises, the background, the foreground noises, all of that, the cats are doing it all over the place. What they're doing is louder than the song. I think the audio guys should have made the song louder and those things quieter. So I admit, I had a lot of airing of grievance on this movie. Because again, when you do something I like, I am going to not hold back. I will let the dogs loose. And airing them all aside, and the kid gloves that they put on this movie, I say Lady and the Tramp, Disney Plus's Lady of the Tramp is a 4 out of 7. It's halfway. I may have my personal grievances. I may not like it. I will personally think it was a bad idea to remake it. But all in all, it's halfway. It's not that bad. It's just that when you do a movie that is that close or that historical and had good lessons and not do them, it felt halfway. It felt meh. And I mean meh. This was the Bullfrog unleashed badly. But again, when you do something that I like, you're gonna get it. And this is, wow, a long rant than I thought. This would be a longer. This is the longest review I've ever done. But this is something that I liked, and I learned a lot from what the original had because of these remakes. And you have to give Disney a weird credit. With these remakes they're doing, you notice something you didn't notice before with the originals. So as much as I want to harp on Lady and the Tramp, I have to give them credit because I didn't realize how powerful the original was. Who knew? And that is my review. Disney Plus's Lady of the Tramp, 4 out of 7. And this is the Bullfrog signing out.